Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant about this. From Reclaim the Net. Cuban government issues internet blackouts in an attempt to suppress protests. I was covering this yesterday on another video specifically about this, and I had my suspicions they were going to do this, and this is the confirmation I needed. But the article came out after I finished recording the video and editing it out by censoring one specific tiny little P word, which I dare not to use because, as you know, how YouTube is a censorious little scumbaggery of a platform. So, since I don't want another community to strike up my fucking bunghole, this is going to have to do. And this is the third time I'm recording this because I accidentally said the word again. Wonderful. Anyway, the government in Cuba has switched off internet access in an attempt to quash protests mounting in the country. Thousands took to streets in several cities in Cuba in protest of the authoritarian communist government. The has worsened the already difficult situation in Cuba, with the protests calling for more V words and food. On Sunday, thousands of Cubans took to the streets in several cities in the country, including Havana and Santiago de Cuba, and even smaller towns such as Gira de Melena and Palma Soriano. The protesters were demanding an end to the communist dictatorship while chanting freedom without the guilt and the weird little image of a Balzac freeballing around. And calling for President Miguel Diaz-Canel to resign. Quite frankly, communism needs to go. Communism is a fucking disgrace. All forms of socialism else. From Nazi Germany, which we all know led to the Holocaust and to other human suffering throughout the time period, then followed by continued by the Soviet fucking regime in Russia, not counting the Holodomor massacre they did before the Nazi Germany had the time to actually go and start World War II with Russia. And then we have China, where the landlord massacres and things like that. And North Korea, Cuba, Venezuela, and many other countries. Anyway, Facebook videos of the protests showed angry crowds walking, cycling, and riding motorbikes, and others even overturning police vehicles while chanting calls for the end of the communist dictatorship, such as "Down with communism! Freedom!" Remember, no Balzac included. And Patria y Vida, homeland and life, albeit I would translate this more like country or nation and life, or something like that. But homeland, yeah, it works. Anyway, in Santiago de Cuba, the local police joined the protests. Well, I hope the population here wins, otherwise all of these people, including the police, are going to disappear. Cutting off the internet as well as mandated social media censorship has become a go-to technique of authoritarian regimes and is becoming increasingly common. Well, let's see. Confirmed social media and messaging platforms restricted in #Cuba from Monday on state-run internet provider Ethereum. Real-time network data corroborate reports of internet disruption amid whitening anti-government protests. Incidents ongoing. Whoa, shit. Even Telegram got censored. Oh, here. Let's see. Ah, there you go. Telegram web interface, website. My interface, so what's up? Yep, everything else. Definitely in countries such as Nigeria, internet shutdown have been used to quash protests with varying success. Following the coup in Myanmar this year, The military also cut off the internet, reducing the effectiveness of public dissent. Cuba is experiencing its worst ever economic contraction since the 90s, caused by the government, whose policies have slowly paralyzed the country's production, especially the agricultural sector. And by the way, everybody in Cuba is compulsory or obligated, at least once in their life, to serve as a farmer. Or at least that's what I'm told by a fellow Cuban. Anyway, US leaders took to social media to show their support for the protests. Republican Representative Maria Elvira Salazar wrote on Twitter, "We've never seen anything like this before. The Cuban people are determined to be free." I hope so. I hope they can last long enough for the government to fall. Otherwise, all of these people are going to disappear. We all know they have done so in the past. They will definitely repeat that, especially in socialist countries and places. They all fucking disappear. No exceptions. She added that the Cuban government was shutting off the internet in an attempt to prevent the rest of the world from seeing what was happening on the island. Yes, the government in there even called for revolutionaries, which means the entire communist government in Cuba calls themselves revolutionaries, or the revolution. So when they call revolutionaries, it means they are calling people who support the goddamn fucking communist government in Cuba to go and fight against the people who want the communists out. Anyway, let's see, an attempt to see what was happening. Okay. Representative Mario Diaz-Balart, in a statement, called on the US and the international community to support Cubans in the struggle for freedom from the repressive regime. Now more than ever, the United States and the international community must support the Cuban people in their struggle for freedom. The humanitarian crisis in Cuba faces right now is yet another symptom of the incompetence and absolute cruelty of the Cuban tyranny. We know that what freedom means to the Cuban people, and now, while the regime uses savage violence against the people peacefully demonstrating in the streets, the world has the obligation to stand with the brave Cuban people." End quote. Cuban American GOP. Senator Marco Rubio, yeah, already read that yesterday, let's move on. Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel, addressing the protests, insisted that the government would not cave to demonstrations. Let's see. What voice shall we make? It needs to be soy, because all communists are socialists. They drink on soy so much that they become soy fused with the soy. Anyway, let's see. We are not going to hand over the sovereignty and the independence of the people. And there are many revolutionaries in this country who are willing to give our lives, are willing to do anything, and we will be in the streets fighting. End quote. And what I'm surprised, he also blamed the US for the demonstrations. It wouldn't be a communist peddling nonsense if they didn't blame America for something. In Cuba, and its roots belong to the revolutionaries. No, it doesn't. We all know what the revolutionary means. It means communists. And communists have to go. Because people want to be free, and they don't want to die, because if they lose, they are going to disappear. It will be gone. And we all know what the Cuban government will do to those Cubans. It's sad, really. Anyway, if you like this type of content, stay right here on goddamn fucking youtube.com/Jester. If you want spicy content, head to bitchute.com/Jester or minds.com/Jester for spicy and exclusive content. Anything else? Oh yeah. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because it is important, because YouTube fucking hates my beautiful fucking ass. Oopsie. Anyway, I think that's about it, so have a great fucking night. And Cubans, good luck. You're gonna need it. And you have my support.